Loving it. I'm enjoying it. I'm around good people. The weather hasn't been too bad. We've had some nice sunny days, but I came here to coach football, and football's an all-weather sport, so it don't matter if it's rain, sleet, or snow. I'm ready to go.
How are you getting along with the new coaches?
Oh shoot, we're getting along real well. We haven't started practice yet though, so we'll see after practice. But a lot of the guys on the defensive staff I'm familiar with, like Coach Howell. I'm familiar with him, and we've coached together before. And a lot of these guys have been in the system before, and so we have the terminology. A lot of the verbiage is the same, so we're speaking the same language. So that's a step in the right direction for us. And all these guys are real good, personable people on the defensive staff, and so we're getting along just fine. And we've worked together so far very good. We haven't been in the war room yet, so to speak, but everything's going good. And the offensive staff has been unbelievable with helping us out in the transition with new coaches like Coach Babb and a couple of the new graduate assistants and stuff like that. So they've helped us a lot with the transition, with the process and everything. So, but it's been fairly smooth so far.
Coach, how would you describe your coaching style?
Oh, my coaching style, I'm very passionate. I love football. Football's meant the world for me since I was 5 years old back in South Texas. And so it's taken me a lot of great places like Bozeman. And so I'm very passionate as a coach, high energy. Not as much energy as maybe 20 years ago, a little bit older. And but I'm an X and O guy. I believe in teaching first and foremost. I'm not a screamer or yeller or hollerer or anything like that. I may raise my voice because I am very passionate, but I believe in teaching in a progressive manner and starting with the base fundamentals and then progressing from there. And so that would kind of describe my teaching.
Back in the day, influenced your coaching career the most?
Oh, golly. I've had so many great coaches starting at the high school level back in Refugio, Texas, where I'm from. Rest in peace, Bobby Kelly. He was my head football coach back then. Alfred Marshall was one of the first black coaches that I really interacted with at the high school level. We had a lot of success back there, and we were fundamentalists, at my high school level, and those guys influenced me a tremendous amount, and part of the reason why I'm in coaching to this point. I got to mention a gentleman that was my coach at the University of Texas, Steve Bernstein. He was a great coach. He's the one that got me into coaching, and I got into grad school. Coach Gary Darnell, who's a great coach, and it's been a lot of coaches that have been great influences on my career. Coach Craig Bowl at Wyoming, while I was at that other school in Fargo. That was really a great positive experience for me. I think that's where I had the most growth as a football coach, and so I give a lot of credit to Coach Craig Bowl, and there's been a number of other ones along the way.
Speaking of that other school that you won't mention, you obviously know Freddie Banks. Did you talk to him at all before you took over this job?
Yes, I've talked to Freddie off and on for a number of years. I recruited him to North Dakota State, and I coached him at North Dakota State, and so that's why it was somewhat of a natural fit to come here. And I'm familiar with the scheme and everything. And but yeah, we've always talked off and on wherever he's been, more as a player-coach relationship more than a coach-coach relationship. But now it has become a little bit more of a coach-coach relationship where we bounce ideas off of one another and stuff like that. So
has he given you a rundown on any of the players that I know you probably haven't gotten much interaction, at least on the field, until probably today, but has he kind of given you a lowdown on what you're coming into?
Yeah, we have a lot of coaches that are returning from last year's staff that's given me a lot of great information, but I always like to go in and make positive and negative cut-ups on the players myself to get familiar with everyone on the defense. And so I feel like I got a pretty decent understanding of the type of players that we have, from the front end to the linebackers to the back end. And but if I have questions that delve into more detail on the players, there's a wealth of knowledge and information from the guys that we have from last year's staff that's still here, like Coach Daly and Coach Kyle and Coach Howell. Those guys, and of course, Coach Vegan has a pulse of the team all the time, and so I can always sit down with him get any information about anybody offensively, defensively. And so the offensive staff have been very helpful in giving information on the defensive guys as well. So, we're one big family. We're working through the process, but we're helping one another, and people have been very helpful. The staff has been very helpful in the process for me.
And the last question for me, new coaches bring new schemes or new ideas. Is there anything that's going to be pretty different from what Freddie Banks was doing, or are you going to probably kind of stick around some of those same schemes?
It will be very similar. I think, very similar, but at the same time, we'll always, adjust, throw a wrinkle in here or there. And spring ball, we try to work on more fundamentals of the game to get better at those, because that's what we really stress defensively, just the fundamentals of the game. Getting off blocks and setting edges and not losing the cup and tackling and taking the ball away and giving great effort to the football. One of our mottos is play hard, play fast, and play together, and we try to stand on that, and that has nothing to do with schemes. And so we emphasize that more than anything. We try to build off of that and get our guys playing as hard as they can, as fast as they can, and really playing as a family and really playing shoulder to shoulder and doing our 111. Everybody doing their job as a coaching staff, as a football staff, and then we'll get the schemes and we'll adjust as we see fit.
What's it been like connecting with players so far?
It's been good. You would think that it would be somewhat difficult, but I'm just a whole country boy from South Texas. I grew up, my uncles rode horses and bulls and all that different stuff. I never really liked, getting on them myself, but I've been around, country before. And Montana reminds me of my little hometown in Refugio. Even though it's a lot bigger, you would think, that it's not bigger, but it's only like 2,800 people in Refugio. So, but it's a small town country atmosphere. Everybody knows everybody. You go to spectators, shout out to spectators, whatever, sidewinders. You go to those places, they know who you are. And that reminds me of, being back home in Refugio. Everybody knows who you are and stuff like that. Everybody's welcoming you with open arms, very hospitable. And, so I've been excited about that. It's been an easy transition for me. And, I know we're undefeated right now, and we haven't played a game yet, so everything's good.
And I know you kind of mentioned it, but what are you kind of hoping to accomplish this spring on the defensive side of the ball?
To get better at the fundamentals. To get better at the fundamentals of the game, and that's the most important thing for us, offensively, defensively, but from especially a defensive standpoint. If you can't get in the stance, you don't have great get off, you can't get off blocks, you can't tackle, you're gonna have trouble playing defense. If you don't play hard, you don't play fast, you don't play together as a unit, you're gonna have trouble. So those are things that we really want to build on and continue to build on. Did an unbelievable job last year, executing, playing hard, playing fast, playing together. We want to try to expand that even further and play harder, play faster, play more aggressive, and so that's what we really want to get that accomplished. Really establish some leadership. Lost a lot of good players, a lot of productive players last year off of the defense, so we want to create some productivity. We have different things that we have. Our playmaker chart that we keep every day in practice, guys that are making plays. We try to create as many positive plays, 20 or more in a practice. Try to get 3 interceptions in a practice. Not ever lose the cup in practice. That means keep the ball inside and in front so they don't get explosive plays. And so those are things, fundamentals, that we try to improve on all the time, every day. And we'll track those and find out who our playmakers are. And then, of course, you can't play great defense without great leadership. And so we got to find who those leaders are. And we have some guys that have stepped up so far in the offseason in the strength and conditioning program. They've done an unbelievable job preparing those guys. And we feel like we got a good group of leaders that work hard, both verbally and non-verbally. And so we're excited about the group that we have, the young men that we have. But we got to get leaderships, and we got to get productivity from our players.
And you mentioned losing guys, Trey Anderson, obviously the biggest name there, but I know you mentioned that playmaking chart, kind of accountability. Is that kind of how you see to kind of fill some of those gaps of guys that you lost from last year?
Yeah, well, we have guys that are returning that, played Mike linebacker like he did. We have guys that that are returning that play defensive end. They did a good job of really developing depth last year. And now we're back on that process, you know, because we have guys that can step in and play. We'll see if they can play at the level of, you know, I mean, that's hard. There's not very many people around the country that can do what that young man did. And they can run as fast, as big as he is and stuff like that. So I don't want to be, you know, set the standard or the bar too high, because it's hard to get guys like that. But we have guys returning that have the ability to make plays, that know the scheme, that know the process, that have bought in already and have continued to buy in. And those guys are establishing themselves within each position unit, defensive backs, corners, D-line, linebackers that are establishing themselves as leadership. And so I think we'll find that productivity. We'll work on it every day.
I heard if you said that.
Play hard, play fast, play together. Is that something you brought in, or is that something Coach Vegan established? Where did that come from?
You'd have to go way before us, a long time ago. You know, play hard, play fast, play together. Goes back, way back. That's all I can say. It goes way back. But it's a fundamental to the game. Playing hard, playing fast, playing together. I think any great defense that you ever seen on any level, that's a common theme. And so Coach Vegan did bring that with the philosophy from Wyoming, from all his past places that he's been. He's brought that. Coach Freddie Banks brought it with the defense last year. And, you know, I've been a part of it at several places before, and it works. And so it gives you, you know, 3 small little things to really work on and emphasize. And they can go into practice every day. Don't worry about the schemes. We're gonna put you and line you up in the right position. If you can just play hard, play fast, and you play together as a team, it's really gonna be hard for offenses to really move the ball against you, get first downs, to get explosive plays and stuff like that if you play hard, play fast, and play together.
I heard if you said, but how much experience with the 4.25 have you had in your career?
Well, I started at TCU with the 4.25. I consider Gary Patterson one of the, you know, he's like the godfather to me of the 4.25. I started with him at TCU and coached with him a number of years and have been a part of the 4.25 in a number of places. We're a hybrid. You know, we're 4.25, but we are a hybrid of 4.25, 4.3, a mixture of that. So we're not just 100% 4.25 defense, 100% 4.3. We're a hybrid, a mixture of both. And so I think that gives us somewhat of an advantage, you know, kind of a 2-headed monster instead of one. And but I've had a lot of experience with 4.25.
And you say hybrid, is that, do you plan to play more 3 linebackers, or is it more Ty Okada or the nickel back playing more inside? How exactly will that be a hybrid?
Both. We'll have packages and schemes like last year where you can put 3 linebackers on the field, or you can put a heavy, big safety on the field, or you can play with a nickel back, depending on what the offense presents you and the personnel groupings and stuff like that. But we can get to all of them. Do you plan to blitz as much as Freddie, more or less? Where do you kind of see yourself on that end? You know, it varies. You know, it varies from team to team. We'll see during spring football as we develop our depth chart. We'll do blitz circuits and see if guys can blitz. If we have guys that have the ability to blitz, if we don't have guys that have the ability to blitz, then it doesn't make sense to blitz because they're not good blitzers. And so a lot of it depends on the offense that you're seeing, how fast they're getting the ball out. We won't be blitzing if we know we can't get there, you know. But you know, the scheme has blitzes built into it, you know, and so it's a part of the package.
And as a DB coach, I imagine you are pretty excited about the returning talent in the secondary.
Always. These guys are extremely talented. They work extremely hard. They play hard. When you put the film on and you watch them, they're playing hard, and they play together as a unit. So you already got a lot of the ingredients to me to have a good defense. And now we just got to develop some depth because people are always going to get banged up. So you got to have depth on defense. And the way the offenses play today, a lot of them are hurry up. Within this conference, our offense has hurry up situations. So you have to be able to have depth and be able to substitute. not just at the D line, which is common, but you have to be able to have bodies at the safety position, at the linebacker position. People get banged up and beat up with these offenses in a hurry up situation and stuff like that. And
And Vegan mentioned it, and when you were hired, but I would like to hear just how you would respond to the past. He called them mistakes. Just your how you would address those.
I've been making mistakes since I was born, and I remember my mama whooped me because I turned a little fire truck for Christmas. I burned it. I know this probably, but I'm saying, and you just move forward. You just move forward. That's all I know. You make mistakes, you try to learn from those mistakes, and you move forward. I tell my guys, you fight the good fight. Every day you get up, you try to do the best you can. Tell me not make mistakes, but you're gonna make them. But you fight the good fight. You keep the faith. You never stop believing in yourself. And that's the way I was brought up. I was brought up in a church, grandmama and stuff like that, my mom. Fight the good fight, keep the faith, and finish. So I'm fighting the good fight, I keep the faith, and I'm in the process of finishing. And when I walk out this door right here, when we meet as a staff, I'm probably gonna make a mistake in there. So it's gonna happen, but you try to learn from it and move forward.
All good. I just got one more. Coach, you're the new guy here. How are you gonna make sure you earn everyone here's trust coming out of the gate so things smooth sail in the fall?
I just one foot in the other, pray a lot, stay focused on the task at hand. Like I said, I came here to coach football. I love football. Stay focused on football. Stay focused on the players, making sure that they're taking care of their business academically, athletically, socially, spiritually. I'm a mentor, monitor, and manager of young men. Those are the things that I got to focus on. Keep them horse blinders on, stay focused on those things. And I feel like I put one foot in front of the other and stay on the right path, not step off. And that's the way I gain people's trust. Just making good decisions, doing things right, and winning football games.